Hello, this is Dr. Tay, and today's episode is on Dandelion. All right, so I probably go buy Dandelion in the springtime when I do my juicing protocol. I do this almost every year for the past 15 years, and basically, I'll do this video where I'm showing you guys how to make this juice. I get a masticating juicer, and I get an apple, um, ginger, because when you're making fresh juice, you gotta have like ginger is like the most important thing. But um, because juice are generally cold, and because you're making a juice, you want something to warm it up, and ginger is a great thing for that. And then I add things like um, lemon to keep the antioxidants really high, and then I switch to greens, various greens. And one of the greens that I usually like to add is the dandelions. They come in this like bunch, and here's a picture of what it looks like. And you see these things that we kick during the spring and summertime, yeah. And then this is the flower that looks like it. And then we have these things growing all over our lawn and between the cracks in the park. And if you look at the leaves, yeah, that's what it looks like. And this is the stuff that is not weed. If you have it grown on your property and the soil is good, I would actually harvest it instead of just pulling it out and throwing it out into the garbage. And I would eat it as a salad. The younger it is, the better it will taste. And it's got a lot of properties. From a Chinese medical standpoint, the way these herbs, the chi of it is that it's bitter, it's very cooling, and it enters the liver, stomach, and also the bladder. And the functions of it is because of its bitter and cooling nature. Bitter is means is anti-inflammatory, and as the juice is going down, wherever it's making contact is becoming anti-inflammatory in your stomach, is becoming anti-inflammatory in your intestines, and most importantly your large intestine. But as your body absorbs it, it mostly goes into the liver, and because it goes into the liver, it has the ability to really cool down. So what is this really good for? People who are constantly stressed, like nurses, police officers, school teachers, all these wonderful students eager to learn. They're very, very stress causing to a lot of the teachers that I know. And people who are angry. Angry tends to be really hot to the idea and to the person experiencing anger. Your ears turn red, especially if you have exploding anger. And drinking this is really good for those type of people. And this herb also is good for. It has a function called anti-rheumatic, and basically it treats inflammation, but it's also good for the arthritis component. So people who do have rheumatoid arthritis, which is an autoimmune where your cells are attacking your own cells, it's really good for that. And psoriatic arthritis and lupus. So anything that, from a Chinese medicine standpoint, that helps cool the liver, and it's not so cold, but where it would cause, how do you say, diarrhea of that sort. And if it does, I would combine it with ginger. So ginger being a warm herb, and it kind of like balances out. And by taking those two things together, you're allowed to take it longer. And for those watching this video, please do not take this as medical advice. Please consult your doctor. And this is for information that are meant for education and entertainment purposes. Um, so if you want to take something like that for extended period of time, if you take dandelion all the time, eventually you're gonna have some like poor digestion because of it. And in order to take it longer, I would combine it with things like ginger. Now, having said this, right? Here's a study that I want to show you. And dandelion root extracts affects colorectal cancer proliferation and survival through the activation of multiple death signaling pathways. And the cooling effect, once again, is cold. Cancer I don't know if you guys have ever felt cancer. Let's say somebody has liver cancer, right? You placed your hand where their liver is, and it would feel warmer. And how do you know that it's warmer? You feel a person who doesn't have liver cancer, and especially if the cancer is really large, you would feel that the cancer that you're touching has a higher heat based on palpation. And I felt this in dogs who had cancer by their kidneys, and when you pet around that area, not only was there a lot of swelling, but there is palpable difference in the body temperature around that area. And once again, the flavor and chi of this dandelion is bitter and cool. So anything that is cool and bitter in that combination is usually anti-cancerous, because cancer cells tends to be hot and expansive. All right. Next, this is a very interesting um, article, research coming out of, I believe, in China, of all places. And dandelion, the scientific name is Taraxacum officinale, a member of the Asteraceae composite family, is well known for the traditional medicine plant, and the polysaccharides and the natural active ingredient extracted from the dandelion possesses immune regulation, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and anti-aggregation properties, and is there to alleviate arteriosclerosis, especially in mice with a high-fat diet. And yeah, because this herb, from a Chinese medicine standpoint, it has a clearing heat and draining effect. And yes, it would be good for, but would I use it for that, to drain heat? The answer is no. I would not use it for that. And because this herb specifically affects the lower jiao, so meaning the lower part of the body, like your private areas, the front and the back, and for ladies who are having, let's say, chronic infections in the lower part of the body, of things of that sort, and that would be a good way to take this on a consistent basis. And for those people who are having chronic issues, I would not take it with ginger. I would just take it as is. And would I use this for rheumatoid arthritis and things like that? I would use other formulas, but mostly the way I would take this herb is buy it fresh, or pick it up from your during the springtime, and put it in the refrigerator and eat it as part of a salad, as food. And if you have a lot of source of this, like I know some people who go to their local parks and then they forage this herb and they make a meal out of it. Right, I highly recommend that. And is widely available. And this is one herb that you can really choose to participate by going out there and picking it up and cleaning it and putting it into your meals, because it's so widely available. Now, would I use this for treating? What is that? Would I use this for anti-inflammatory effects and things like that? Yeah, not really. I would more use it for people who are really stressed out and who have heat issues of that sort, and if they want to take care of their liver, because it's the neuroprotective properties that it has. And I think this is the article that talks about that, the neuroprotective effects of, I'm gonna basically, dandelion. And the oxidative stress mediated neuron damage is considered an important contributor to the pathogenesis and development of neurodegenerative diseases, and this has shown that it helps protect that. And this is the research that shows doing that. So once again, this is what the herb looks like. I'm sure you've seen this in your backyard or front yard or at your local park. And I would definitely not spray chemicals on it to kill it in your thing. I would just forage it. And if you ever pull these things, the roots go really, 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 really deep. And it to a lot of landscaper, this is like a weed. and people spray awful chemicals in their thing, I would say, oh my God, these things are great. So let me just and they will constantly regrow. And even if you don't want them, so if this grows in your property, consider it a good thing. And I would definitely um, use it. And by the way, the flowers, the yellow flowers, you could drink it as a tea. Um, and maybe during the springtime, I'll harvest some of these dandelions on my walks to the park, and then show you guys how to do it. All right. Having said all of this, hope you enjoyed this episode, and click like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And if you have any questions about other videos that you want me to do in regards to herbs, and uh, post your comments on the comment section below. And just a quick announcement: I am my flight is booked to go to Mexico City this coming October, end of October, and I'm looking to go to the herbal market, and I'm looking to bring back hibiscus and the marigold flower, so I could drink this tea on a continuous basis. I'm looking for a good source, um, and I'll try to make a video while I'm on this trip about those going to the herbal market. And Mexico has a lot of history, rich history in, how do you say, um, herbal medicine and things of the sort, but it's usually not recognized. And so I have a lot of interest in herbs. This is like literally I'm going there just for this purpose. So stay tuned for those videos, and take care. Bye bye.